Hello everybody, and welcome again to another one of my videos. Of course, this is Stuff bringing you a review this time, and I know that it has been quite some time since I've made my last videos, and in some of my last ones I've promised that I will be doing a Heroes of Might and Magic series. I am going to finish it because it's I think I'm done all the way up to Heroes 4, and I have the input videos for Heroes 5 and 6. But I just did not have the time to make the commentated versions of those videos. But yeah, so you guys are going to be seeing that in the near future. But at this point in time, I would just like to make a video game or PC game, better said, review of Game Developer Tycoon, a game which has launched, I think, 1 week ago. 1.5 weeks ago at the beginning of May, and it did stir quite a bit of controversy when it came out, because the developers thought it would be, the guys from Green Hot Games, as you can see right here, thought that it would be a great idea to actually release their own version of their cracked version of their game on the Pirate Bay at on the same launch day as their game. But of course, there was a trick. There was a how do they say it in the movies? Yeah, there was a trick. So the thing was that you could actually not win the game if you had it from the cracked version. Okay, so let's just get into this. Now obviously I haven't been doing these videos in a long time, so excuse me for stuttering and causing problems, or not being very fluent in my English. Of course, I do not speak English on a daily basis. You all should know that by now. But anyway, let's get into the game. So this is going to be kind of a review. At this point, I'm at a stage in the game where the game is pretty damn evolved. As you can see, this the company name is called Bangarang. It was just something funny that I thought of, and at this moment I am employing 5 people, but I will be looking forward to getting actually more than 5. Let me just because I haven't done actually, yeah, let me just look at the settings real quick, because I have no idea how they are, so I'll just go ahead and turn them down just in case that they are too loud in comparison with my voice. As mentioned, I'm really busy with other stuff in my life, and YouTube is at the moment is just really just for fun when I get a couple or 3-4 hours off so that I can do this. Okay, so yeah, so the game just off the start in this the game conference that is shown right here is one of the points that I'm trying to make, or will be trying to make, about this game. 380,000 people visited the booth like in 1 week or so, because the conference doesn't last all that long, and we didn't even make it in the top 100. The figures in these games are off by a lot, and I mean really a lot. I mean 380,000 people visited one booth in 1 week, and that booth was not in the top 100 booths of this year. That is just freaking ridiculous, and the game developers, I don't know if they put this in just for fun, or if they were really trying to simulate the real environment for these types of conferences and such. But this is just ridiculous, and I'm certain that this is not how things are going. And the same things are the same number inconsistencies are occurring even at the start of the game, where if you guys played it, you know that you start in your own garage and you have just one computer and you work alone on your games. There are not so many options for you to explore while making your games. You can't hire anybody, so it's just you alone in your garage, and the monthly costs for that are $8,000. $8,000 for you alone sitting in your garage and making video games. That is just mind-boggling, and those are the costs, like the fixed costs per month, every month. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter if you're doing contracts, because you can do contracts, and I'll get into that a bit later. Or if you're developing a game, if you're developing your own engine, the costs are the same, $8,000 in a month. That is just not realistic. I mean, unless you have a loan from the bank for your house, then maybe, but also not. No, I mean, loans that cost you $8,000 per month for a house are just, nobody in his right mind would take that such a loan. So even from the beginning, the numbers of this game are really not. They're off. And they do not simulate the real environment or real life, for that matter. Good. So let's just go ahead and play. There will be spoilers, but hey, the game starts like in the 80s. I think it's 82 or so, and it goes on through real life history. And of course, the company Grapple, as you can see here, has released a new. Actually, they've just announced that they're going to make the group pad, which we all know what the group pad actually stands for in real life. So there will be spoilers in the, as you can see right here, but these are really not that important. Let's just go ahead and play. Although this should be a review. Okay, good. So the numbers are off. These people want to go on a bit of a vacation, but that's just not the only problem, that the numbers are off when it comes to actually playing the game. There are some other issues that I've come across. Now, yeah, the group pad has released, yes, and this was just one of my recent games, which was actually one of the best games that I've made until now. Now, I have played this game through, because as you can see, the game lasts between 25 and 35 years. You can choose at the start which one you want to play. I'm playing right now on the 25-year version, because I found it to be a bit of a much realisticer. That's certainly wrong, but it's a bit more realistic in simulating the whole market and game development process than the other two, from my opinion. Good. So this was quite a good game, but getting to the game development, because what you do in this game is you make games. So let's go to the game development. At this moment, I just got the means to make large games, but I'm not going to at this moment. Let's just go ahead and make a medium game. We'll pick a topic. These small games are at the start of the game. You can pick, and the medium, and then I'm not going to make this a playthrough, like gameplay experience and explaining the game. I'm just going to make this a review in which I will talk about, hopefully, what is wrong with the game. So you get to pick one topic, right? So these are all of the topics that I've researched or that I have available to me. Let's say that I will make a let's do a racing game. I haven't done those in a while. I'll make a racing game which is of medium size, and at this point I'm allowed to pick two genres because I have researched the second genre type. But let's just go ahead and see the genres: action, adventure, RPG, simulation, strategy, casual. From my first playthrough, which I went like 40 years into the game. After you finish, you get to still play the game if you want to. But after my first playthrough, if I remember correctly, these are the only 6 genres that you can pick from, right? And this is quite bad. And the differentiation between genres and topics is also a bit bad, right? Because you have here dance, and I think I saw rhythm. Yeah, dance and rhythm games. This is a genre in its own sense, right? It is that way. You can also say that dungeon games are a genre in their own sense. Evolution games are a genre in their own sense, right? Not to mention transport, like transport simulations and such. And I don't know. They've messed things up in the way that topics and genres are not really well differentiated between them. And this is just my point of view. Of course, I have been playing games for all my life, and I am, let's say, a gamer, although I'm not a hardcore gamer. And I'm also looking forward to starting a career in game development myself. So this is the particular reason why I was really interested in making this review of the game. So this, to me, this does not seem complete or good. This is not good. This is just wrong, but it works, right? So it's not that wrong. Let's just go ahead and make our racing games. They are a genre in their own self, right? So why are they? Nah, I'll just drop it for now. So we'll just make this a casual and simulation type of game. From platform wise, you get to choose from a lot of stuff, really a lot of stuff. But the percentages, the market shares for each of one of these are again, in my opinion, quite off, right? Like, who would imagine that there are almost the same amount of people playing on their PPS or the PS3, and I think it's the that's not the it's the PSP, right? It's the PSP. Who would think that the same amount of people playing on a PSP or on an iPad in real life actually play on PCs? That is just absurd. Now, I don't know if they've done this so that the PC superior race doesn't get too cocky about the fact that most games are made for the PC and the you know, the Xbox and the PlayStation systems. But this just looks off, really. And gaming on the iPhone, I mean, okay, sure, there are a lot of games on the iPhone, and the marketplace, the market is expanding at this point for the iPhones and the tablets and such. But seriously, you cannot seriously claim that people that have pads and iPhones, there are twice as many people having pads and iPhones or other mobile devices, because for some reason only iPhones are in this game, which I also found quite interesting, so that I don't use another word. Maybe, yeah, good. But it's just absurd that twice as many people don't play on the PC, right? So, but just leave that for once, and let's go ahead and make a game for the PC. And these are my engines now. They are not named this way. I named them this way because I did not have any idea. I wasn't inspired to name them otherwise. So actually, I've got like since I've began this playthrough, I've built 5 engines, and the engines building and usage themselves are also off, and I'll get to that a bit later. Good. So let's just pick my last engine, which is called the Master. Okay, the game name is going to be named Need for, I don't know, Need for Derp. That sounds good. Need for Derp. Herp derp. Alright, so this is the, now I'm going to be choosing the features from the engines that I have, right? So text-based is always available. It doesn't matter which kind of engine you have, and also 2D version 1. This is also always available. And then I'll just get the newest, shiniest graphics. My people are going to start working on it. It's looking good. And now we get to the development stages. There are 3 development stages, and each one of them is you selecting features, as you can see right here on the right side, which I do have some at this point. Oh, I can make a steering wheel. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, great. Yeah, and of course, selecting which staff for the medium and the large projects and the AAA titles, selecting which staff is going to be in charge with which part of the development stages, right? So each development stage has 3 parts, right? Like the first one has the engine, the gameplay, and the story. or the quests. Now the story and the quests for racing games, not that important. Gameplay is quite important. I'll just raise that a bit. Actually, let me just, yeah, good. So that is that. People have design and tech, which means their skills are, you know, your people, your employees, yourself, including me. My character in this game is Ringo Jones, and he's got design and tech, much like everybody else. And you can use these guys to, as you can see, they're affiliated with the different parts, the different features, or yeah, of the game itself. So let's just go ahead and let them play. And this starts happening, right? So it's bubbly. At this point you can only interact with the game by starting marketing, or, you know, reviewing your game history, your staff list. Maybe if you have a research department, you can go to your research department. So the game offers you some options right there, so that's okay. It also does not last that long and such. Good. Again, we come to the stage, to the second stage of the game development, and at this point it starts getting, you know, like the second stage, even though the game is a bit bigger, basically consists of the same things. Now, how should I put this? This whole is a nice principle, and by a nice principle I mean, you know, it's neat. It's interesting to have these bars right here that you can push up and down and see who can do what and such, but it's not necessary in my opinion. And not only that it is not necessary, but it also damages the gameplay in itself, because what makes a good game in my opinion are the features and how well these features are implemented, right? But in this sense, features are kind of like just attributes of each category, like the graphic, sound, and the world design, and you only get to, yeah, let's just put in a rich backstory as well. What the hell, why not? And you only just get to interact with how much time and effort your people put into them in comparison to the other two, right? So this is just the amount of time, because if you look on the development bar after on top of the game, when you click OK right here, it's going to show that now they're working on the world design, and afterwards on the graphics and the, you know, on the sound. But these actually do not reflect how a game development should actually work. Like, you've got project leaders, because I'll only assume that these guys can be dragged over here to be project leaders. Although I would have loved it if we could drag two people to do the same task. Like, for example, if I drag myself, Ringo Jones, here, that's just going to change it, like just change it to me as a project leader, and not necessarily assume that Ringo Jones and Jonathan, what's his name is, were both working on making this better, right? So that, in my opinion, is false, and it's gimmicky. It's gimmicky, and not in the nice way. I mean, don't get me wrong. This game, I think I've already played it for like 10 hours, if not more. Yeah, certainly 10 hours. And for its price, that is just excellent quality. But after 10 hours, you just start to get a bit obfuscated at the fact that this doesn't really mean that much. There are so many factors, and I mean, the game is hard, and it's good that it's hard, because we don't want much too easy games, right? I mean, I don't, for example. Let's just go ahead and make a bit of a marketing campaign. You can do different marketing campaigns, but yet again, the options are quite limited. I mean, you've got 4 options, and these are in the game from the start all the way to the last, except when you have your own research department, and at that point you can actually I think, make a special research campaign. You can research a special marketing campaign for a game, like, you know, for a triple A game. So let's just do a small marketing campaign at this point. This game, there's so much to talk about, and the game runs a bit fast, and if you're not paying attention, you get in trouble real fast. Although this should not matter, because I'm only doing the video in order for the review to come out. Good. We'll just go ahead and release this game, and afterwards I'll take a quick look at the engine, building mechanics and such, and I'll just shut up so that we can make the final things. Also, after each game is made or completed, you can get bonuses to how much you level up your stuff, right? Like your engine, your gameplay, your story. But this in itself, it just says level 8, level 7. But this actually, I don't know how to put this into real gameplay value, like as I'm playing it. I can assume that I should focus on games that rely on very well level design and maybe engine gameplay and artificial, I mean, the things that I have with the highest level. I can assume that I should actually be using those for my next titles, because that way it will get better. Now, also the levels for the game developers themselves don't make a lot of sense, right? So this is just a way, the levels of the game developers is just a way of taxing the player more money as the game progresses. As in, this guy has, instead of having like bonuses or increase in salary due to being older in the company, they just get more salary because they've got more experience and a higher level. But this stuff right here, the level, this does not say anything, or at least in my opinion, about how good of a game developer that guy is. Sure, you can only unlock special trainings after level 5 or level, I don't know, 8. I don't know. I'm really not sure. Okay, that is something that you could have implemented, but in another way, not using the level for each employee. But this is just a cheap way of the game saying to you, alright, so this guy has a higher level and you just have to pay him more now, so good luck, you know. So this is just a way of raising the bar, raising the difficulty rating. We'll just go ahead and release the game. The combo system is alright, although the combo system is in itself connected to the leveling system. So yeah, I see no use for it, like seriously. Special training available, of course, because they've leveled up and now we can train them in special ways. Yeah, the game review just came in. Now the game review for the most part is quite annoying. I mean, I've played this game, this is my second playthrough. Now this obviously was not a good game because I wasn't paying that much attention, and I also don't like doing race games, but that doesn't matter. But the reviewing stuff is quite annoying. I mean, there are times when you'll get 3 10s and an 8, right? Like, what the hell? But it doesn't matter. Good. Let's just go into the research quite a bit, and this is another thing that I would dearly love to talk about, and it's already been 24 minutes and I don't want to bore the hell out of you guys, but here it is. You can research different types, different features to put in your game, like surround sound or dynamic environments, or I don't know, basic physics. Now the way that this works is that you need RP and cash. So it doesn't matter how much cash you have if you don't have the necessary RP, which are the research points, which you get by developing games or working on contracts, and later when you get your what's it called, research department, you can get it that way. But unless you have got RP, you cannot research everything that you want. And at this point now, I've made quite some money, which means that I haven't been slacking at all, right? So I've been making games, game after game after game. Usually my rule is that I make a game, then I train everybody, and then I make another game. Now this is the thing, right? So you have to carefully balance between using your RP to train your employees, and later on you'll need a lot of RP to do that, but it also pays off. I mean, not necessarily. You could alternatively just fire the guys that are way weaker than you would like them to be, and just invest a lot of money into finding new talent that is already talented and in which you don't have to put that many RP points into. And maybe that would be a better strategy to play in this game. I don't know, I'm not an expert on it. I've only played it, like, this is my second playthrough. But if you choose to train your employees, then you won't have any RP left to make special feature researches, right? Because these are quite expensive. Dynamic world, that's 100 RP. With 100 RP at this level, like at the third level, I get to train 3 people once, right? So that's quite interesting. That's quite you have to balance it out. And if you don't get the features, then at one point in the game your employees will be much better at doing their work, and the features that you currently have, which are old, won't be impressive anymore to the public, right? Because you've done so many games with the same freaking features. People want new stuff. That's to be understood. And also your employees will be able to make the games almost perfect with the features that you already have researched and put into your game engine. Another fact that I hate, and I'm going to be going into that detail just in a bit. Good. But if you don't get your employees higher, you know, if they're not really good at their job, at design and technology and research, because research is also important, and also the speed at which they work, if they're not good at their job and you get the features, alternatively you will get a very feature loaded engine, and when you'll make a game, you'll say, well, okay, I want to have interactive story, but there's also linear story available, right? Well, fuck the linear story, I'll just make the interactive story, but that requires a lot more design points from your workers, right? And that means that your interactive story won't be finished, although the game is finished, and it won't look nice, it won't work nice. So you have to make cuts and very carefully balance out how many features you get and how many upgrades for your workers, because both end up deciding if your games are good or not. And most games that are good will end up bringing you a lot of money, a crap load of money, but usually like 70% of games are average or less than average in this game, right? I mean, even if you're trying to balance things out and stuff. Good, so let's just get really quickly. Oh, and also there's the general research, where you can research topics, and as I've seen, except for the first 4, like sports, military, medieval, space, and I think fantasy also. No, fantasy was also not researched. And except for these 4, I think that all the others come in randomly, which is, in my opinion, quite stupid, because I had to look at all the researches I had to do until I finally got to transport and city. Like the transport and city simulations, which are some of my personal best, can I say? Yeah, personal best topic or genres for games came all the way right here, and I had to do a crap load of stupid games in the meantime, because, or actually just make a ton of military strategies and medieval strategies, because hey, those seem to work, and also of course the fantasy RPGs. So you can also do that. There's that, right? Let's go ahead and look really quickly, because it's almost half an hour since I've been talking. This is amazing. Let's go ahead and look really quickly in the engine creation department. So at this point you get to choose between different graphic types. this I can understand. This is okay, right? So you've got 2D and 3D graphics, and later you've got the stereoscopic 3D, which I can only guess, because I'm not really that good with these names, but I can only guess that it's like really 3D with like 3D glasses. I don't know, doesn't matter. So this is okay. The sounds also okay, right? So you can implement having soundtracks or stereo sound. This is also nice. But what is this? Seriously? I mean, I can get the cutscene stuff. Like you need special classes in your engine that are going to say, okay, now I'm building a cutscene, right? But story should not be in here. Linear story, branching story, and this should not be in here. The cutscenes, maybe, okay, as engine features, right? The engine itself, it has save game, it has multiplayer, video playback, save to cloud, and mod support. This is also for the engine. Okay, I'm totally for it. But then gameplay, how complicated is it to have a skill tree and achievements in a game engine? I mean, and they cost a shitload of money too. You have to invest $100,000 into building an engine that has a skill tree implemented in itself, but you only need 30,000 for cloud saving or multiplayer. What? And also modding support is just $30,000. That is just way off. Now, I'm not an expert, but these numbers, again, they are way off. They are not intuitive of real life, in my opinion. Good. The dialogues, better dialogues. What the hell is this? I mean, what do better dialogues have to do with the game engine in itself? Right? Is this positioning? Is this graphical? Is this what is this? Better dialogues, in my opinion, is something that somebody writes. You know, this is just about having good designers with a high design rate. This is not about the engine itself, right? The level editor, okay, I can understand this. The Easter eggs, again, Easter eggs are not a part of the engine. They are a part of the game itself, of the design itself. So this needs to go out of here, because this is just wasted money that you put into your engine. This is just a feature that you get to take or not when you're developing the game. It's not something that should be in the engine itself. Mini games, it's 50-50. Like, you have to have certain possibilities in your engines so that you can ultimately build the mini games when you're designing the game. Better AI and AI companions. This is again something that should not be in the engine, in my opinion. I mean, okay, sure, you're talking about classes, objects in the form of AI companions, but what is the difference between a normal AI and an AI companion, right? So this is also a feature, a design feature, not an engine feature. It's not something technological. And the AI, okay, it is technological because you need to work on the algorithms and how, I don't know, let's say pathfinding or like in World of Warcraft, the whole what's it called? I've already forgotten World of Warcraft. You know, like the prioritizing of target stuff and such. Okay, so improving the AI maybe could be in the engine, although this is more yeah. So I don't think that AI should be in the engine. I mean, seriously, that is just bad. Open world is okay. Day and night cycle is also okay for the engine, and of course, virtual economy. Again, virtual economy. It's like, no. I'm not certain that these people, the guys from Green Hut Games, although they've made quite a good game, I don't feel like I understood what actually should be in an engine and what shouldn't be in the engine. What should be a design feature if you choose to implement it or not, right? So because the economy, that's what is the big deal with implementing a set of resources and the income and output for those resources and the exchange. I mean, maybe okay, exchange between players. Let's call it player exchange of resources. Okay, that could be a feature that should belong to the technology, to the engine, but not the economy in itself, right? So that is, and also these go on and on. Like in the research, you can, as you can see, for the gameplay, it's totally fine to have gamepad, joystick, and other stuff implemented, right? That is totally fine. Character progression, is that really so hard? Okay, cooperative play, that is a bit harder to implement, and probably you need certain classes and functions in your game. But character progression, that is also more of a feature design. Anyway, but the prices are off, like really off. Right, so I think that these guys made a game, and at some point they decided, okay, this is too easy, let's make it a bit hard by just pumping up the prices, right? So so if you look at this, the newest type of 3D graphics, the version 5, costs $600,000, which maybe could reflect reality. If not, maybe in reality it could actually be more, right? And then if you develop character progression for your engine, it's $120,000. I'm not certain that that's right? Or a dialogue tree. What is so complicated with making a dialogue tree? It's just a binary tree which you learn like in the first semester of programming, right? Why would a binary tree made out of strings cost $120,000 fucking dollars? So this is my main problem with the game, in that in order to fake not realism, but in order to fake difficulty, it just it just makes the price go up. Like for example, I have almost $500,000 costs in a week, right? Let's just go ahead and see the staff list. So this is my character. I don't pay him anything, right? Lori Reed, she makes $89,000 a month, and she's really a good programmer. But you know, she's a good programmer. $89,000 a month. Now, unless I didn't understand this well, I thought that this was my company, right? And I get to choose the salaries. I mean, they should have implemented a method of the owner choosing the salaries, because this is just $89,000 a month. Who the hell makes that? I mean, sure, maybe some senior developers at the biggest companies. Sure, okay. Or maybe this is made to represent more than one person, right? Because the game only has like at most six employees available to you. So maybe they thought, okay, we can't let you have an army of like 20-30 developers, which is more around the actual real life numbers. But we'll just make the salaries be a lot bigger than they really are. So maybe from this point of view that would work. Although I'm not really buying it. I would have liked it to work with more employees and have to micromanage a bit more than just send them all to the vacations at the same time and then do a couple of games and then do rinse and repeat always and always. Good. Filling the position is also something quite interesting. Now, what I don't like is the fact that you can pay up to $2 freaking million for one position, for one guy, right? And this is not money that you're investing into the game. You're just investing into finding better people. But at this point, I'm seriously thinking of the fact that if you're a big company with a lot of famous games and a lot of famous developers in your as employees, then a lot of people will be interested to join and program for you anyway, right? So why spend $2 fucking million on finding one guy? Okay, so my final, let me just cut off because it's already been 40 minutes, but my final idea of the game is that for the most part it's good. For the most part, but the numbers behind it do not reflect real life, and the game engine and game development processes are false, right? You can say that it's false. They're not accurate. Like I would like to put people on to work on certain features that I want to implement in my game. Like if I have a very good designer, then I want that very good designer to work only on the dialogues or only on the story. So maybe you're getting what I'm trying to say right now. I don't want just one head of the department to lead one category and under that category to find all of the features. I want to be able to micromanage who works on what feature, or which of my employees work on what feature and who not, who doesn't, or who just leads the whole project, because there's always a project leader that ends up just doing the marketing, doing the research, doing the scheduling and everything else. So it's not complete. So this game is not complete, but it is still good because there's not much to compare it with at this point. But and I'm giving it. I don't usually give scores to games, but I'm giving this game a 7 out of 10. And I hope that they take into consideration some of my ideas for a future installment, if there's ever going to be a sequel. Alright, great. So thanks for watching and listening, and I hope you guys enjoyed this, although it has been quite long. And I'll see you next time, hopefully quite soon. Bye bye.